we have some news to share. But yeah, first let's start with introduction, right? Or maybe what we did so far. So we started a new app, right? Saw like how you can create a monorepo, what are the different files inside Angular. We went through the template syntax, the component basics, and now uh, in last stream we also converted all the data types to signals, right? And we also have Ritvi with us. So hey Ritvi, how are you? How was your week so far?
Hello, everyone. I am good. I am very excited about today because we're about to dive into like really cool stuff from now on, y'all. And our errors have been easier, touch wood. Hopefully, we don't have a major one today either.
Yeah,
But yeah, very excited to be learning with y'all on the stream. It's daunting, but it's fun.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a little bit scary sometimes, what in case something goes wrong. But yeah, it's part of learning, right? When you learn something new, you also go through this. You fail, then you yeah figure out, okay, this is how it is done. So that's what we are trying to do here. Fail so we can learn something.
Yes, this is going to be fun. And we are also coming up with some updates sooner or later, which we're very excited about. So, yeah.
We can start with that, right? So people know like what we are planning. So uh, yeah. So in case you're joining our YouTube channel, so from tomorrow onwards, we will be moving to the new YouTube channel. Yep, that's happening. So we will be streaming on our Code Rabbit channel. So in case you haven't subscribed yet, just go to youtube.com/CodeRabbitAI and you can actually along with this live stream, of course, you can follow so many amazing videos which we post there. So we have our podcast, we have some shorts, like which will walk you through the different features which we have. So yeah, that will be exciting transition for us as well because we will be bringing more contents to you. So what do you think, Ritvi? How, are you
I'm
excited as well?
excited. Yeah, we're so excited. If y'all see, we're keeping on adding more channels so that y'all can join from anywhere. Quick notes and those. For some reason, my chat is not loading, so I'm going to just quickly rejoin. But you may continue because I can't access the chat to throw links there for our people.
No worries. So let's start with the last week, right? Let me adjust my camera. Yeah. So last week, what we did is we created this PR where we have some changes related to templates, and as usual, CodeRabbit added some useful comments here. So you see, I made a typo. Yeah. Who doesn't make a typo, right? So I also did that. So it says, okay, you are missing T. Yes, I'm missing T something, some, and whatever I made. And then it also telling me that remove unused import somehow single. Maybe I just made a typo and pressed a tab, and a single got imported from RxJS for some reason, even though we are not using it. So see, Angular, sorry, CodeRabbit is actually capturing all these bugs, so we can fix this, and then move on to today's topic. So first, let's go ahead and see. It says there is a proposed fix. This is what it can do. You can also like apply the commits from here. So you can say, okay, this is nice. I can just add suggestion to batch because I have few more. So let's do that. Add. Okay, what's happening? Batching suggestion must be done from the file start. Oh, this is very annoying. Okay, so the first comment was here. So I can just come here and say, okay, this is committable suggestion. I'll say, okay, just add it to batch. And this is also right because we don't need this. So somehow it says, okay, it got imported, but yeah, we can do, okay, so okay, add suggestion to the batch. This is also like, we added this because all these styles were looking similar to me when we were trying to build the UI. Because yeah, no, I'm not an expert in styling, but looks like Tailwind overrides so many things that all the tags look similar, even H4, H5, H3. There is no H5, so sorry. At least I know that. Okay, so it says, okay, you can uncomment this. We will do that maybe next PR, right? So, and I can commit this to suggestions, and I can say, okay, this is apply suggestion from code review. apply suggestion. So, and generally, like whenever I'm also doing code reviews, I generally try to add comments here. Like, for example, if I want something to be changed, in case you're not aware, you can also add inline comment suggesting, say, okay, this, for example, like you can just say, okay, this is like maybe this function setting, and you can add a review, and it will be visible when someone sees it as a committable suggestion, just in case you're not aware. This is really good way to give reviews, because it avoids all this to and from. So people can actually just, or maybe your team members can just accept the suggestion, and then they don't have to go to VS Code or maybe whatever ID they're using. Okay, so we suggested the comments, and I know it's going to pass. And let's do confirm merge. Hey, thanks for joining. Hey, Sashi. Yeah. So I'm trying to avoid Sashi. He keeps messaging me on WhatsApp. I'm like, no, 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 I don't want to talk to him. Come on. And we talk daily almost.
Oh, look, Santosh, there's someone telling that you taught them Angular.
Oh, oh, you taught me Angular. Oh, hope it was useful and you're still using it.
Yes. Uh, you should actually pitch in when Santosh asks questions. Santosh, you should ask the question to everyone when you do that.
No, no, I'll just ask it to you. Okay, cool. So let's move to new branch. I mean, so first let's move to main branch actually. And so we can say git pull, and we have all the changes here related to styling and everything. By the way, Sashi knows Delvin so much better than me, because whenever I have anything styling changes, I just go to him and say, okay, you take care of it. I mean, on our open source projects, not my personal project for sure.
That's awesome. Maybe we can invite him for Manifest streams for Tailwind.
Yeah, yeah.
Just adding like a revamp on our Tailwind.
Yeah, that's cool. And one more thing which I wanted to do is change this formatting. I know I spoke about it. There is a prettier config which is available. Maybe we can look out for this prettier RC. And let's see. Can we ask chat? Can you apply this setting to format Angular? What is that? Control flow. Let's see. Little bit use of AI, because why not? I still have credits, by the way. So yeah, it maybe, yeah. This is okay. This is new month. I have more credits now. So 6%. Yeah.
Yay!
So it says, okay, to format Angular control flow syntax, like if, why I'm in ask mode. Okay, apply. So yeah, I want you to apply. Okay, cool. So I can say, okay, this is the new format, and let's see if it can beautify and format. Oh, nice. This looks good. So now at least it's more readable, right? Better than the previous one.
Yes.
Yeah. So we just asked AI to actually resolve an issue which I could have Googled, but why to move out? I mean, these are like small, developer experience or productivity improvements I love. So you can just ask chat to actually do it for you. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. I mean, yeah. Okay, so let's go back. And we have this beautiful formatter. Yeah, so as we mentioned, now we will go a little bit deep into our components. Last time we added all the signals. Actually, we converted everything to signal. And let's see how we can actually share the data between components. This is very common scenario, because, as your component, or maybe as your feature increases, you will end up having lot of lines of code inside your component. So, Ritvi, what's the biggest you have seen? Like maybe a component with thousands lines of code, or
Oh,
2000s like.
I think while I was working at e-commerce, I saw people do some pretty weird things, but never 1,000 lines for me. Like I've never worked with a 1,000 line component.
But then you got back to me. I have seen a component with 3000 lines of code, I think. Yeah, 3000. And I was like, what? How? Like,
What
why?
what was this component? I need to know.
Yeah, it's something we call it as God component, which is like no one dares to touch it. Like, okay, let it be.
Oh,
So, as people, I mean, mostly those components are where you have a lot of tables, data tables, filters, and as soon as features start growing, people are scared to touch it because, it may break something. Because who writes this, right? Yeah, who writes this? Oh, come on. Yeah,
so but
it should
wait,
be
I
right.
didn't know what this component was. What did this component actually do?
So it was like because we had like a lot of data grids based on different filters, different scenarios. Maybe in case user has this kind of role, show them this grid. If it has
Oh,
maybe
oh
another
God.
role, show them another grid. So they just a lot of if else switch cases, and then if you're talking about a data table, it has like a lot of code, and then multiplied by maybe 5 or 6 times. So
Insane. Okay, fair. That makes sense.
and then at some point of time it becomes a legacy code, and then new people join, they are like just scared to touch it because no one knows why those components exist, and it keeps growing. So I think the 3000 lines of code is the worst I have seen. And I was like, okay, I'll refactor it at some point of the time. And after 3.5 years I left that company. And
How many lines did you add to that component, Santosh?
no, I never added anything. I was like, okay, no, don't touch it. But yeah. So, the best way to do is you should create smaller reusable components in case such things or such cases arise, because smaller components are always better to manage, better to refactor, better to understand. I know now you have AI, you can just ask AI, okay, tell me what this component does. But even I'm sure like even AI will have hard time refactoring a 3000 lines of component, wondering what's going on here. And so start from day one, right? So here we have actually a table, this one. Maybe we can move the entire switch case and do another component,
Okay.
right? And let's see, or maybe why not something like where you have separate component. I'll just close the YouTube channel for now. And uh, oh, what happened? Did we broke something?
No hotels available. Did you not pass the data anymore? Did we get rid of the data that we were passing? No, it's still there.
Yeah, maybe I broke something. Maybe let's see our compiler. Yep, it's broken. So it says, okay, duplicate identifier component. I
Mm.
mean, so
Because
it
we could
added, yeah,
signals
it added,
last for
no,
refactoring. Yes.
yeah, so it added to the imports 2 times. That's it.
Got it.
Yeah, so this is how
Okay.
it looks like. Back, we are back. So maybe for each, right? So for example, hotels we have a different component. For motels we have a different component. Resorts is different. Hostel is different, and which will make it more manageable, right? So in case we want to add more features, yeah, just add a new component. So let's do that. And dashboard will still be responsible for loading all the data and then passing it. So it's like it gets the data and distributes to different components.
Amazing.
Okay, so I'll
So are
just
we
go
going to
ahead.
create different components for hostel, or are we going to keep it on the same component for the time being?
For now, we don't have any motels component, resorts or hostel. There is nothing actually, but we can create those component, right? And maybe uh, add some dummy data for now. So we can have 4 components, for example. So hotels, we'll create 4 components.
Sounds great.
So let's go ahead and say generate. Okay, so looks like it's broken. Linux console. Maybe I'll just reload it, and then I realized something that I am just using the read-only copy of VS Code. Yeah, I don't know why or how that happened, but yeah, I'm doing it because when who has the new? new version of VS Code because I saw some pretty sick, pics on X, and it looks pretty good. I'm not sure
Maybe
like if anyone has updated it. Did we tried to update the VS Code?
not yet. Actually, I
Oh,
might do it while we talk. But
mhm.
I think we figured why yours wasn't updating, right? You did not have auto
Yeah.
update. Is that right?
No, so that's the thing, right? So I'm using VS Code from my download folder. So it says, okay, wherever you are running this VS Code is actually a read-only read. You have this read-only access.
That happened to me the first time I installed it. So at some point, what happened was I installed it the correct way also. So I had two VS Code instances, and I remember not being able to find my correct workspace. And I'm like, what's happening? And then once when I tried to update it, and it's like, no. And when I realized that was happening, so I'm pretty sure you also have it in the right folder, Santosh. This is just a duplicate that has accidentally been created.
But let's see. So okay, so let's go ahead and create components. So we are back to our NX console, uh, and then we can create some components. Maybe uh, what- where we so we'll just create it inside app because these components can be shared. So let's keep it inside app, but a different folder, right? So maybe properties, and inside properties we can have hotels, motels, and the rest, right? So resorts and hostels, these are four components. So let's go ahead and do that. Ah, you have seen it. So someone said, yeah, they have seen it. Hey, don't call me sir. I don't know, it feels, I don't know. I mean, just call me Santosh, right? I'm not old. Okay.
Well, I would argue that, but
I mean, what do you mean? Do I look like the old guy? Properties.
Santosh, what was the first stream we did?
Valentine Day. Yeah, I remember it.
Okay, now you can say Valentine's Fair.
Properties, hotel. So this is hotel, and it will create. But properties doesn't sound like a good naming for this folder. What can be the better name? Because properties can be anything. Property
Mhm.
related to.
So we should just call it what the component is, right? Like we have hotel and now we have hostels, resorts. Shouldn't we just call it that? Or should we call it property and then make a component inside it? I think that'll be better, right?
Yeah, that's what I
Properties.
was thinking.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's I
like
think
property, right? Like this.
definitely better because I think if we for a second try to think long term, what else will we have? It's a whole website. We'll eventually have user, different RBAC also, correct?
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah, I think this makes sense.
so
Property and
property,
yeah.
then the type of property, and then
Yeah.
the component. So we can have property, hotel, property, resort, property, hostel, something like that.
So is there a method to this, Santosh? If like let's say I'm thinking design patterns and architecture, is there a method to this that you all like as a software engineer you all learn when you do bigger code bases to not like to avoid future conflicts?
Yeah. I mean, so NX actually promotes that culture, or you can say the practices. So in NX, whenever you create an application, you try to split them by features. So let's say a feature related to property might be its own library. So it stays outside this particular application. As we are not going more into NX, maybe in future we can refactor and see like how easy it is in case you follow this pattern from day one.
Got it.
So, but yeah, that was a pretty good, that was a good question because you should be doing this in enterprise applications. You should always split your code base into multiple libraries, and the best way to do it is I mean, going through your features list. So each feature should be separate, so it's easy to refactor. It's easy to understand as well. Whenever a new developer joins your team, the developer can see, okay, this is your maybe properties related library, this is your maybe product related library, this is maybe your billing feature, this is something else. So it's always recommended to do that.
Awesome. We'll make sure to add this in our summary of this series.
So okay, let's create this component hotel, and then we have hostel and What else we have? Motels, resorts, and what else? Or yeah, I was thinking maybe apartment could have been another type, but yeah,
Yeah, I
let's
think that we can add B&Bs and stuff like
yeah
that as we go, right? Is there
yeah.
any way, Santosh? Because I think for the most part, the UI, the UX flow is going to be the same, right? Is there any way we can generate like a universal component and then pass it down to these and then develop on top of it? So like the property component, and then based on like I'm just thinking what would be special about these four things that we want it to be different. So can we make like a basic component and then build upon it in these different components?
I mean, yes, this is how like you think when you move ahead, right? So for example, when you don't have any idea like how the component will look like,
Mm.
and you the first step you want to take is just go ahead and build it and then see what is the reusable part. If you already have a design, you know what are the reusable parts, but in our case we are just going with
Yeah.
the flow, right?
Yes.
So as we move ahead and we realize, okay, these parts are actually something similar, I mean, I think
Yeah.
this can be moved to a different component, then you can actually refactor your code and make it more generic, right? So you have less. I think the principle you're talking about is DRY, right? Don't repeat yourself. So
Yeah.
we don't repeat ourselves here.
Makes sense. I think once we develop two more components, we'll know what we can repeat in all these components and create like a base property component.
Yes, exactly. Uh,
Fun.
okay, so let's move and remove some of the existing code base which we have. So we can, the first one we can move is, I think we already have some template for hotel. And I don't know why my mouse is behaving odd, but okay, so this one, right? So hotel, the entire template from here, I think is something I can remove from here and move to hotel. So HTML, I can paste it here and it will start complaining, of course. It says, okay, the hotel list is something which I don't know what it is. It is not available on your code base. But yeah, we'll say, okay, save it. Uh, the compiler should complain that, okay, you don't have anything related to this. And it started to fail. Yeah, expected because, we are just moving code around. And this is one thing about refactoring. I love to see the errors, and I've seen so many engineers as soon as they try to refactor and see they see an error, the first instinct is rollback. I don't know why. I mean, believe me, when I start to refactor something, I just keep doing it until unless I don't see any error. That's that's how you learn. I mean, and it's and I was doing this like pre AI era where it was
Oh,
not possible to ask AI.
yes.
So and I love doing that still. Like so, if I have to refactor, I'll probably not reach out a lot for AI. I will just say do it manually because why not? It's fun to sometimes just code on your own.
I agree. But I think I'm one of those, like I remember in college, if like there were a lot of errors, you're like, oh my God, no, 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 CTRL Z, until we're back to
Yeah.
wait, what went wrong? So
Yeah.
I think now though we're in the AI era and people can like ask AI what went wrong, because I think one of the times I remember, Santosh, I was coding with Lovable, and
Mhm.
it was fine in the dev mode, but it's for some reason just wouldn't be able to build the build directory that would eventually get deployed. And no matter how many rollbacks I did, it just wouldn't work. And this was right before a conference that we wanted to do the quiz app for, so I had to
So,
start from scratch, and I was so scared. I was like, hey, build the direct build directory every time you run the code.
yeah. It's scary. I mean, in case you have a lot of lines of code and you don't know what can go wrong, uh, and then at some point of time, I think AI just starts to hallucinate. And if you don't know like what you're really doing, and you just rely too much on AI, this may be a problem in future for you. So I mean, you become stronger by putting yourself into some dangerous situation, right? So this is how it is. So maybe it's fun for right out.
This is where we should probably have like a Mountain Dew ad.
Yeah. Sponsored by Code Rapid. Okay, good. So, what we have done so far is we just moved the template and we started getting errors. So, what we are missing? So, it says, okay, we are looking for hotel list, but somehow this component has no idea about what hotel list is. And we'll format this. Let's see. Yeah, so formatting is done. And the first thing what we need is when you want to communicate between two components, right? So, what we want is we will be using this hotel component inside dashboard. So, question.
Mm.
So,
Yeah, ChatGPT,
how?
yes.
Yeah. No, no, no. Okay. Let me close this. Okay. Open chat. Oh, and okay. This is interesting. I have. Okay. So I have this close button. So no more AI. So when you have HTML tag, right, and you want to pass some data to that HTML tag, what you do? How you do it? Ritvi?
Uh, I have to define variables, and if I want it to be dynamic, if not, if it's like a JavaScript base, then I have to import the script. Make sure that HTML knows this JavaScript, and then pass the variable. Of course, I need to make sure if it's either being introduced, if it's a global data, if I'm importing it from another file, if it's exported the correct way, all of those things.
Exactly. I mean, you generally also add a property, right? If I have to say in simple terms, we just add a property. So, for example, a div, if I want to add maybe HTML code or HTML to it. So you can use inner HTML, right? Or inner text in case you need a text. Same, for example, if you have a button, you can also have disabled property, right? So all the HTML tags have properties, right? Different properties you can assign. And in React also, it's actually what you pass is properties. So you can, props, right? In case you're coming from React background. So you can pass props. Same concept applies here. So somehow you have to make or tell your component that, okay, this is a new property and anyone can actually pass this property. So,
Interesting.
so let's see how we do that in Angular. So, you can go to your hotels and what we need is hotel list. So if I go to template, we already know the variable name. So I can say, okay, this is hotel list is equals to, but what? So it's very simple. So when you give data to a function, what you call it, uh,
When you give data to a function,
what that data is to that function.
oh, the parameters.
Yeah, you call it as input, right?
Oh, you mean the input parameters fair.
Yeah. So you call them as input. So the same concept applies here. So it's an input basically. So you can say, okay, this is an input, and this will be passed by somebody. So let's see. So it says, okay, time array because sorry object because I haven't defined any type for the input, so it's still complaining about it, but it knows that at least this total list exists, right?
Right.
So now we define this input variable and we can say, okay, this is actually the type of, we already have hotel type, but for now it exists inside this one. And this is your first maybe this is the first thing which you should do is remove this interface from here.
Okay.
A lot of developers just leave it and then they try to import it from this component to hotel.
Uh-huh.
And then what happens? You also import hotel to dashboard because you have to tell dashboard what this hotel means.
Oh, so it won't actually pass from here, it'll pass directly there.
I mean, it causes a circular dependency, right? If you think about it.
Got it. Got it.
So, and then it will not complain about anything right now because it's part of the single application. But build system knows that, oh, I have to pass it twice because
Mm,
I'm moving from A to B, and then I'm actually giving the same file back to B to A.
got it. Oh, got it.
So you can right click and say, okay, you need to refactor. So you can also do right click refactor. I'm sure like nowadays, not many people are using it. So you can say move to a new file and let's see where is that file. Okay, hotel.ts. What? No, yeah, hotel.ts here. So you have a new file for interfaces, hotel.ts, and now I can change my imports to actually take the hotel interface from here. And same for dashboard. I think this is already updated. This is how useful knowing how to use VS Code is. So you can just right click from here and you save some credits, AI credits, and
Yes,
do something
eventually.
useful with it. Okay, so
Santosh,
I'll say
our another target should be use up all your credits for March by the end of March. Let's see if we actually. How many did you actually end up using all your credits from February? No, right?
actually not. So I reached around 70 to 80. Uh,
Mm.
but yeah. Okay, someone is asking if I work for Code Rabbit.
Yes, Santosh does work for Code Rabbit.
I do. So it's been 2 months and 4 days, 3 days, sorry.
Wow.
Since I joined, yeah, time flies. Okay, so now it says, okay, I have an hotel list, and it says, okay, this is hotel list of array or undefined. And it's now we are getting some errors. So it says, okay, what is this error? So it says, okay, ID does not exist on type hotel. Why? Because, let's see, maybe we are exporting or we are getting hotel from somewhere else. See what happened here. So
Uh,
this is also hotel and this is also hotel. So it says, okay, this is the hotel I want to export.
so we have to name it differently, right?
Yeah, so let's see. Yeah, hotel, uh, maybe
Base.
this is an interface. So um, I, I mean, I generally don't like this. That's why one of the reason the old naming pattern was much better was because it used to be hotel component. So the class
Oh.
name and interface name can be different. So I can just name it I hotel because I for interface. Don't do this. I mean, this looks like very ugly, to be frank. And I can do the same
Yeah,
here.
I think I don't know about you, Santosh, but I learned the hard way how to make sure that I name the variables correctly. Because anytime I used to start, I used to be like, oh, I'll remember what I'm writing. And I used to have like hello one, hello two, try one, try two. And like by the end of like 1 week, I'm like, I have no clue what's happening where.
Been there, done that. So I think we have all done that. So
Yeah, I think
uh,
everyone.
b- b- I think it's not us. It's not us. I think it's how we learn how to program because when you go through the books or maybe a video which is very basic, so they tell you, okay, you have for loop, so I equals to zero. You go work at enterprise or anywhere, and then you have a for loop I equals to zero. So yeah, it comes naturally, and then no one teaches us how to name a variable.
I know, right? I think that's such an important skill. Even I learned it on my first internship, and that was after we were like trying to figure out which hello was causing the error.
Yeah. So be careful. See, like I'm sure, like it would have been very very hard to figure out if I had like a very big application, and then I'm still wondering why it's not taking the correct type, right? So cool. So now we have the types are correct. Everything works. Uh, but if I go back to to terminal, everything compiles. What we just don't have is anything to render because we haven't done anything here. So
Right.
you have motels, but there is no hotels information because that's we haven't connected anything back to it. So let's see how to do that. So now we learned about how what a component is. It's an HTML tag. We created an HTML tag, and we can add this in case you want to render it. We can actually just go to dashboard.html. Inside this case, I can say, okay, just go ahead and render this component. And as usual, AI is suggesting me the fix, but I will not take it for now. I wanted to show you something else because whenever you type an HTML tag, it automatically takes a closing tag for it. But actually, I can also do this. This is a valid HTML tag. This was actually added pretty late in Angular. So in case you are looking at a code base which is Angular 4, 5, 6, or maybe very old, this might not be available. So be careful. So, but this is now accepted HTML tag. And now you have to pass the data, right? So that's the only thing which is left. And even if I just save it, we are also getting another error. It
Go.
says HMOTL is not known element. We have seen this error previously as well. So if you remember, like when we tried to add dashboard to app.html, we had same error.
Yes, because we weren't importing the correct thing.
So we have to say, okay, import hotel from this file, and now there is no error. And this import is actually added here, right? So make sure that you add the component to imports array, sorry. And now everything should work. So code is compiled. There are no hotels because we are not passing anything, right? So at least it's able to identify the hotel, which we did here, right? So this is our HTML hotel component. It's able
Mhm.
to do it. If I go inside it, the template, we have a for loop. And in case there is nothing passed, we also have an empty placeholder. It says no hotels available, and that's what is happening actually. So it says no hotels available.
Makes
So
sense.
far, cool. So far so good. Everything works fine. We just need to now pass the data, which is available at dashboard actually. So if you go back and see the TS file, we already have a hotel list. So we have to connect or share this data with the hotel component which we created. So we can do that by actually passing the props. So how we do it? So we'll see, okay, we'll say box, and then we'll say, okay, this is hotel list property, and this is the value I want to pass to this property. And this value will be available down to the child component. So this is known as parent and child relationship, where parent is your dashboard, child is your hotel component, and parent is actually giving the data, whatever data needs to be entered. So child component can stay dummy, basically. It has no logic. It just takes the data and does it, and that's it. In technical terms, you can also call it as a parent-child communication, or you can also call it as presentational and uh, uh, sorry, dummy component and presentational component. So you have this presentational component, which is uh, presenting the data, and this like your sorry, smart and dummy components.
Oh,
I was So this is your smart component, the parent, sorry, dashboard, and then your dummy component is your hotel, which takes the data and renders it as it is.
got it.
Okay,
So
so
any component with like any kind of control flow is a smart component, correct?
this is the generally this is what is generally recommended.
Got
So
it.
you have more smaller components. They just render the data and that's it. And most of the heavy lifting is done by your maybe smart component or maybe your parent component. Like if I talk about heavy lifting, what I mean by heavy lifting is like calling the API, getting the data, maybe doing some logical, uh, maybe you can say business logics, right?
Makes sense.
So if there is any business logics, all these things actually comes under your presentation or maybe your parent component, and then the presentation. Why am I confusing both? So maybe
UI,
smart.
the user experience,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So, so anything related to, let's say, which has something to do with getting the data, maybe some business logic, can come inside your presentation in your smart component. Like it can communicate to some backend API, some services, but your dummy component just takes the data and renders it. So in case you have something like maybe if you have some animation, you can actually just keep it inside your component, your child component, because
Mm,
it's responsible for presenting it. And all the heavy lifting about data can be done by your parent component.
makes sense.
So then you separate both. So now we have all the hotels available, everything works fine. We gave the data to our child component, and that's it. So now we have parent to child communication. So done. So now we know, like, in case we need to pass some data back to your child component, how you can do that by using input. So input function, which is available here, I can provide the data type, and this is an empty value. So and this is by default. So okay, one more thing which I wanted to talk about here is, in previous uh, stream, we saw, oh, we are using signal everywhere and we are using input. So what's the relation? So if you see, input is nothing but it says it's signal as well. So it's an input, but it actually is a signal value. So it's also, of the same data type what we have been working with so far. So it's
So
also a signal.
it automatically inferred and typecasted it, correct?
Yeah, exactly. So it's internal implementation. So if I go back here, it says, okay, input signal, right? So input function is something which we are using, but internally it returns an input signal to us.
No, no, I'm confused. Is it automatically an input signal, or is it because we defined it as signal before, it detected that and then hence typecasted itself as an input signal?
No, no, it's by default returns as a signal. So
Got it.
whatever, when, yeah. So
So
you
even if
see,
our earlier signal wasn't defined as signal, if I put an input, it would be input signal, correct?
yeah. So this is what it looks like. So everything is like input signal,
Got
right?
it.
So if you see, and what you have to use is just input function. And
Mm.
there's one more thing. So what in case I don't pass the data here? We tried this.
Uh-huh. So like default state basically?
Yeah. So it goes to default state, right? And but what in case we create a component and this is not optional. You have to pass something.
Then we pass a default data basically.
Yeah, you can, but how you will tell your developer that it is required? You cannot basically, right?
Yeah.
So because it's an HTML tag. So, but with Angular, you can actually do that. You can say, okay, this is required,
Oh, got it. Okay, that way.
and then as soon as, let's say, because it's possible that you are working in a big team and you create a component, and this is very common scenario where
Hmm.
the design system team creates a component. Someone is actually not passing a property which should be passed. There is no way to figure out like how to do it because someone missed a documentation, or maybe someone missed to missed to actually update the existing documentation, and now people are fighting like, oh, I'm doing everything right, like why it doesn't work. So
Interesting.
in such cases where, let's say, you create you are part of a design component team, you create a component, and now someone tries not to pass a property which is required. So what will happen is Angular can fail your build. So if I go back and see my terminal, it says, okay, not here, but yeah, let's see the terminal. So it says, okay, a hotel list is required, you're not passing it.
Hmm.
So it saves a lot of time, like where you don't have to actually fight with somebody else in your team. It's not good, right? Why you should be fighting with your colleagues? But yeah, so this is a nice property. So in case you want that, okay, this property is not uh, optional, you can just make it required, and everyone lives happily ever after. Okay, good. So we can just say, okay, this is hotel list, and you can and you know okay, so I'll just talk about the funny stuff. When I was learning Angular, so let's go back. So, when I was learning Angular, so I used to think, oh, probably this name here and this should be same. I was like, okay. And then I remember like after few months, I realized, oh no, they don't have to. So in case you're new to Angular, yes, your
I
property
think
name
it's a
can be
very
anything.
common mistake everyone makes. I think when I started React, because you're learning from like older code bases, or if you're self-learning, you're just trying to pattern match because
Right.
everyone is trying to do a very structured code, but they forget that, oh, a beginner won't know that it's not supposed to be the same, and then you get errors. Yeah.
Exactly. And no, I mean, so when you go through this all educational videos, right? So they tell you like, okay, this is how you should do it, and they don't. maybe they skip this part where they need to explain to you like what is this like what this property name means. So yeah, so you can make it whatever you want. So I'll just say, okay, this is not hotel list. Maybe just call it as hotels, which is plural as well, right? And change it here. And I hope there's no typo. And then I can change inside HTML, and it started giving me error. So I can just say, okay, this is hotels. So yeah, they can be different. So hotels, hotel list, yeah, whatever you want to call it. And let's see if everything works. And everything works. Everything is okay. So okay, some file is not saved. Which one?
The can you tell in VS Code itself?
Yeah, I think it's saying here. So hotels and hotel list combined to hotels. So if I go back to hotel.html, this is hotels.
Is the
This is
inference interface file not saved?
no, it is actually, it was just working.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Combine. Okay, this is interesting. So
Yay, error of the day, folks. 10 minutes to go.
yeah, we always get some weird error at the end. Okay, so
Tradition.
we have this hotels property, and this is also hotels, and it actually infers the value. VS Code can identify that okay, this exists. I don't know. Maybe we can just close this compiler, and might be something to do with Angular itself or Angular compiler itself. So let's see.
All right.
Oh, it worked. Yeah. So yeah.
Pseudo error, y'all.
Maybe caching. So, Angular has a way to cache your, whenever you build something. So it was cached, and it gets cached inside here, Angular.angular/cache. If you see this folder, don't delete it. I mean, it makes your compilation faster whenever you are like making changes to your code, and then it recompiles, right? So it needs to recompile, of course. So this is where all the cache is saved. So maybe your cache was my cache was maybe just dirty, and it got confused like what's happening. Santosh is just too crazy. I don't know why he's doing this, and it just decided to break. But
So when would you recommend deleting the cache file? Like when you think, because I know I've seen a bunch of developers do it. When is it that you're like, okay, deleting is the best way to go about it?
uh, just oh, sorry. Yeah, I mean, so generally, like in case, let's say you are coming from a vacation after a long time, and then you try to get the latest code, and you are still not able to build everything, even though everyone else is able to build everything perfectly fine. Then you can just go ahead and see like if the cache is the problem, because it happens in those cases. Otherwise, don't do it. It just increases the time to actually compile everything if you keep deleting it after every change, or maybe after you take a new branch and then you just delete the cache. That's totally unnecessary.
Got it. Makes sense.
So we still have 10 minutes. So let's go ahead and do another stuff, right? So there are two parts to a component communication. So, the parent uh, can give you their data, but child can also share something. So in case, let's say if there is any event which happens, and child needs to tell maybe parent that, okay, something happened, for example, a delete event, right? Now the delete button, where you will put it, where is your presentation layer? It's inside your child component, right? This is where you have your view, your whole component. So of course you will, if I have to add a button, where I will go ahead and add it, I will add it inside here,
Right.
right? So what in case I want to tell my parent, okay, the user has pushed delete, just delete this data.
Mm.
So input, and if I want to give it back, I have to say output,
Correct.
right?
Return
So
something basically. Yeah.
let's see what I can do is else if hotel rooms number of 10, And maybe we can do something here, right? So we can say, okay, delete maybe number of rooms. And let's add a button. And on click of this, I want to give the hotel, or maybe not book hotel, I will to see delete room. So this is the function which I want to call whenever I want to delete a room. So let's see how we will do this. So I'll go back to hotel.ts. So first thing is I want to delete of something, and here, for example, right now this is the console.log to see if I
If it's
click
working,
on the button, if I'm getting the data or not, right? The first step.
makes sense.
So let's see. So if I go back, and this is okay. So I have to change the text. Let's say delete. Okay.
Yeah, there we
So
go.
we have this, and okay, somehow
Yeah, that was my next question. Why is it not showing for every? It should show for all the hotels, right?
yeah, exactly.
No, it's only for greater than 50 rooms available. We're adding the button, so makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, right. So
That's
maybe we can leave it here and add it here. So it's available for at least two rows.
got it.
Okay. But this is the last one, is it?
So
Elsewhere, I can.
we had three conditions, Santosh, and we have each
Ah,
of one. So we can add it twice. No, that's not a good idea, right?
yeah, yes, exactly. But yeah, let's make it available for everything right now. So if I'll just add it, this is if, and maybe I can just add it here. Right. So it's available for each row. I mean, yeah, we can make a better logic as we move. Click on delete room. Yeah, so we are able to see the IDs, right? So it's in
Yes.
console. Let's zoom in a little bit.
Yes.
And now we need to let our parent component know that, okay, this room or this booking, this hotel wants to delete a room. So now it's available with the component. Now we have to just maybe send it one level up. So I'll say this is delete, uh, just call it something else, remove room. And here it was input. So of course we know what needs to be done. We have to create an output. And this is coming from Angular core. So I'll say, okay, this is output. And we have to return something. So the return
That
type would be the number. And
makes sense.
okay, so why? Okay, so now we have an output type. Sorry, a type, a property. So it says, okay, this is output event, right? So it says output emitter ref. Let's see what it looks like. So it says it's a function which
Uh-huh.
takes some options in case if there are any options, and then it can return an output emitter reference, which internally has an emit method. Or yeah, so it has an emit method, and it says emits a new value to the output. Somehow we have to actually reach out to this particular
Got
function,
it.
or you have to call this function so it emits a new value. So here what I can do is I can say, okay, whenever you click on this, just do remove rooms dot emit and the booking ID. So now this is what it will do. So and what do you mean by emit, Ritik?
So
You
basically, give
yeah.
it away to all the other, basically make it available to the rest of the application. Is that what we're trying to do? Emit is literally like giving away, right?
Emit is basically, let's say, in case of if you talk about electric signals, it's emitting a signal. Like we
Right.
use this term, right?
Right.
So who gets those signal? So let's say if you are
Right.
emitting a signal on particular frequency.
You have to tune into that frequency and
Exactly. Yes.
correct.
So of course, then in this case also, someone has to actually
Catch it,
capture
basically.
this, yeah, and only those people can receive this. So
Got it.
how to connect this to? So now I can go back and say, okay, this is remove rooms, and I will create a function which handles this remove rooms. So this is your listener,
Okay.
which we will add here. So I'll say, okay, go back, handle rooms. which will remove a booking ID. And for now, let's do a console.log, and that's it. Just to see like if you're actually receiving some data or not,
Got it.
right? So now we have a signal which is being emitted. We have also a receiver who is receiving this data or maybe signal, whatever we are emitting.
So, quick
So
question,
mhm.
Santosh, how did you decide where you're gonna capture it?
It's up to you, right? So for example, right now we have this component, but maybe you can do it wherever you want, like
But like, what's the
whoever.
best way? Like, what is the most efficient way? Like, wherever the API is, do we do it? I'm guessing the obvious answer is where the smart component is actually going to handle the API, right?
Yes. So in this case, smart component, right? It will be a smart component which will handle all this interaction. So for example, my child component says remove this room, gives this data to parent, then parent makes an API call, removes the
Ah,
data from the backend, and yeah, gives the latest data back to the child component again. So let's say if we make some changes, hotel list updates, and then you have a latest value available. This is again the same issue everyone is trying to resolve, right? State management.
yes.
So if you follow this approach, like where you have a smart component, child component, it also makes your state management easier. So it's not like your state is actually scattered across multiple components, and then you're wondering like, oh, I added two products into the cart, but I see 10 products in my cart. How is that possible? So yeah,
And then I'm sure we'll be discussing this later. We can also add timeouts, right?
for
For these emitting and capturing to make sure it's happening in time.
right now it's all synchronous, right? There is no sync function which is happening. I mean, it's not like that we are making an API call and doing something.
Right.
So it's all asynchronous. But I mean, yeah, in case if you're making an API call, that might be a scenario where you have to handle all those
Mm,
um, edge cases, yeah, where you may have a timeout.
got it.
Let's delete a room, and you see it says deleting booking with ID1, handling remove rooms for booking ID1.
On the dashboard also. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
So now we have, and it tells you the file, right? So
Which
okay, this is which code is actually responsible for handling this. So to connect both, so now what we have done, we created an output. So let's go back to OT. So we created an output. First, what we did is we created a function. We said, okay, let's make this function available on click of which we know that booking ID is available. It helps you to debug issues. Basically, I love console.log. Yeah.
yes.
Okay. So, and then we are emitting this value. We are saying, okay, whoever subscribed to remove rooms should get this booking ID. So that was the step one. And then we went back to the component. We said, okay, hey, subscribe to this remove rooms and add an handler. The handler does nothing else apart from console.log again. And it says, okay, I received a value. All good. Now I can maybe do some logic, remove this room in case it is needed. And you will do more things here, right? In reality, you will make an API call, delete the data, or maybe update the numbers in your backend and then give it back. So you will probably uh, update this hotel list again. That's not what we are doing right now, but yeah, in enterprise application, this is what you will do.
Sounds good.
And
Yes. Fun.
And we are good. So if I click again, of course, you will see everything is in console. Delete one, delete two, delete three. Everything works. So we saw like how we can communicate between parent and child, or how we can build a smart component and dumb component, which just cares about maybe rendering your data or maybe rendering your UI, and that's it.
Fun. I think that was a very productive stream today, y'all. I don't know if y'all realize that.
We did, yeah. I mean, I think we covered a good topic in very short time, um, because we can do so much things if we even know this stuff, right? So we can create a lot of small component which we can maybe use in later streams. Maybe let's say checkout page, right? So you can probably create an UI which is responsible for checkout, for which you don't have the data right now, but maybe you can get it in future. So for to work to start with, you can just start with the dummy data. You don't have to worry about the data because Uh, One thing which we developers care, care a lot about is, oh, where is the data? So before you even start building something, you say, oh, where is the data?
You want to figure out the flow of it before you even start actually handling the data, right?
Exactly, yes. And in reality, what you should be caring about is what is the contract? Okay, tell me how the data will look like. And that's it. That's what you need. And
Make
you can build your UIs based on it.
That sounds awesome. I think I'm very excited to see the actual data flow happening more.
So, yep, that's it for today. And as I mentioned, we will be back. Um, we will move to the new channel, the Code Rapid channel from tomorrow onwards, and we will be back again with new streams. We will also publish a calendar. I think we are planning to do that. So we have a community calendar where you can maybe see what we are planning to do next. We
Hmm.
mind keep and watch on all the events which we do.
Let me see if I can drop a link for y'all very quickly. Hey folks, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to send you this link, but I will also share the entire calendar link. I'll keep it ready for tomorrow. This is tomorrow's link.
Okay. Oh, it's okay. So I need to. I don't know. I cannot copy this. Or
I
maybe we can.
Yeah, we'll send it the new one tomorrow as well. And
So last part of the stream, we always create a new branch, right? So we can create a PR and see like what Code Rabbit says about our code, which is interesting, you know.
yeah, Code Rabbit can be a little mean, but it's for your
Yeah,
own.
yeah. It once asked me to. It actually told me that if it my code was carried, it will just bury it somewhere, so I couldn't find it.
Oh no. Okay,
Yeah,
that
I
is.
was like, okay, I don't write this bad code, you know. Com- uh, Communication. Okay. So this is done. Let's go ahead and check. Stop the server. Get and input output, and let's do and create a new pull request. And I'll just okay. So done. Now CodeRabbit will work, do the review, and we'll be back for the stream tomorrow.
Yay! Bye, folks. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, everyone.